Willig.
Thank you. It's what it's supposed to be here, be part of this memorable event. I have not been in Eretz Yisrael for Yom Haatzmaut since 1967, when I was here as I was a Talmud in Karen B'Yavne. And I've been in Israel many times since then, but never this time of the year. It's usually there's no particular reason to be here. And so I'm reminded of some of my old memories of Yom Haatzmaut as a child growing up. And I remember that when I was just entered yeshiva college, my first year, I remember it was Rabban Soloveitchik, Zichron Levracha. And he used to give what they call hashkafa shir every week on Thursday, and the people would come in from the other shiurim even. It was on reel-to-reel tapes. They would tape it in those days when nothing else was on tape. And I have my notes from it. And this is what he said. Number one, he said to us, people think that a deliverance for Klal Yisrael cannot come through individuals who are not observant. And therefore, this whole Yom Haatzmaut, the whole state of Israel has to be viewed in negative terms. He said, in a typical year, Hey year comes out approximately the time of Parshas Tazria Mitzorah. And Tazria Mitzorah, the Haftorah is V'arboa Anoshim, the 4 men who saved Klal Yisrael, who were going to starve to death by going out and discovering that the Goyim had fled and they were able to survive. Who were these 4 people? Chazal say, Geichaz Yubanav. And Geichaz is one of the people who was Ein Lo Chelek L'Olam Haba. They're the ones who saved Klal Yisrael. So Rabban would prove from there that the fact that there are individuals who helped us found the state of Israel who are not quite from is of no consequence. Doesn't matter. Hashem has different shluchim. But his main mahalach was based upon the Gemara in Sanhedrin, Daf Tzadi Chesam and Aleph. And much of his mahalach is found in the Orach Chaim HaKadosh in Parshas Balak. There, the Gemara has 2 consecutive contradictions. One is a contradiction between 2 consecutive words in the Navi Yeshaya. The last words of the Haftorah for Parshas Kisava. Ani Hashem be'ita achishena. So the Gemara asks, Ita means in this time, and achishena means quickly. So make up your mind. Is it this or is it that? So the Gemara says, Zachu is achishena. If they'll be merited, the Mashiach will come early. And Lo Zachu will be be'ita, whenever the time comes. The Gemara asks right away another question. How will the Mashiach come? One place it says, V'oru imanone shemaya, so they come down like from the heavens, boom, Mashiach's going to walk in. Another place it says, Oni v'rochev ala chamor, like a poor man on a donkey. I remember yesterday, Rabban Soloveitchik talking about a donkey. A donkey is a kind of an animal. He goes forward, takes a step backwards, you have to kick him again. Doesn't it? Comes and fits and starts. Which one is it? Same terrace. Zachu minanan ishmaya. Lo zachu ani v'rochav ala chamor. Rabbi Rabban explained that there are 2 kinds of geula. There's the supernatural and there's the natural. And he explained the supernatural is Oro Mi'anon Ishmaya, that's what's called Achishena. And the natural is the Ani V'rochav Ala Chamor, which is Be'ita. And he explained that he thinks the events of today fit into that latter category, and it could come in any way it comes. If you look on the Orach Chaim HaKadosh, on the posuk towards the end of Parshas Balak, and there's a couple of parallel phrases. Dorach Kochav Miyakov, V'kom Shevet MiYisrael. It's exactly the same thing. Dorach Kochav Miyakov means there'll be like a star. Like the Gemara said, like a star coming down, a shooting star coming down from heaven, boom, an instantaneous geula. V'kom Shevet MiYisrael, says the Orach Chaim HaKadosh, it means a lowly shevet. A lowly shevet, which could be interpreted to people who aren't from. A lowly shevet, right? And they're going to be the ones who are going to bring the ultimate geula. How's the pasuk go? Dorach Kochav Miyakov, V'kom Shevet MiYisrael, U'machatz, how's it go? Pasimoav, V'karkas Kol B'nei Sheis, a whole series. And he explains that even though the people are really not so righteous, they'll experience a military victory, which is going to be not predictable. It's exactly, those who know the story of 1948, it's an incredible story. How Klal Yisrael survived the onslaught of so many forces which are against us is a mind-boggling event which really defies all military logic. Defies. It didn't make any sense how it happened. We had no arms. They got arms from Czechoslovakia. Stalin decided to give us arms the last minute, of all people. The biggest anti-Semite. And he had his cheshbonis. And the Arabs were not so smart. They had a lot of numbers. They weren't so smart in how they attacked us. V'chule, v'chule. There were miracles which, of course, in the realm of nature. So Rav Aaron said, you can say Hallel, because even though there were no supernatural miracles, the Gemara says in Masechta Megillah that Purim is also a time to say Hallel, were it not for external considerations, none of which apply here. Chutzlaretz, this is not Chutzlaretz. Lack of dependence, Fakert, he was dependent, he was independent, and it was a Megillah. There's no Megillah that we read instead, so he said Hallel, he said without a bracha, and his reason without a bracha was, he held like his great-grandfather the Netziv, who explains that even though the Chasam Sofer says that Hallel and Chanukah may be Doraisa, because the Gemara says in that same daf in Megillah, Daf Yudalim, the Avdus L'cheres Amushira, the Mavas L'chaim Lo Kol Shekei, he was Mavas L'chaim. He understood it to mean, like the Netziv, that was that year, because it's derived from Oz Yoshe Moshe B'nai Yisrael. That year, but in subsequent years, it's the Rabbanon, as more says in Brochus Daf Yudalim, the Krishma Doraisa Postik Hal the Rabbanon Miboya, it's talking about Chanukah, and therefore we don't have a Sanhedrin today to institute it. It should be said without a bracha. That was his psak. All this I heard from him and many other things. That shir, Yom Haatzmaut or thereabouts, back in 1965. And I still remember chunks. I can't say I remember everything. It was quite a shir which sort of set me in my way of thinking. Although, as we always know, we cannot predict the future. We cannot predict the future. Rav Shechter Shlita has a long article in his Sefer B'ikvei Hatzon, which he says something which I heard years and years ago from Rav Aaron Soloveitchik, because Rav Aaron Lichtenstein Zichron Levachu's first yard, it was just 3 days ago on Aleph Iyar, that you want to celebrate Yom Haatzmaut as a holiday. It's not enough to have a moon in the past, such as by Pesach. You have to have a moon in the future, because as Rav Shechter elaborated upon, you can't establish a yontif for all of Klal Yisrael after the Churban unless it leads to the ultimate Geula. Even Purim, which was led to the Bayat Sheni, Chanukah led to Bayat Shlishi, as Chazal say, and therefore you have to assume that the processes that have happened in the last 100-something years are a lead up to the Bias HaMashiach. The Gemara has in Masechta Sanhedrin the same daf, higher on that daf. If you see the blossoming of the fruits in Eretz Yisrael, which we know didn't happen for 2,000 years, Ein lecha kates megula mizeh. The Gemara says there's no greater harbinger of the ultimate redemption than the agricultural flowering of Eretz Yisrael, which never happened, did not happen for literally nearly 2,000 years. It's first happened a little more than 100 years ago when they started in the Galil, and now you look wherever you look we're here, and then somewhere in this place, believe me, some years back was just an empty lot, I'm sure, with just stones and rocks and dirt and nothing. It was here. Look, we have the beautiful grass and trees, and and throughout the land you see blossoming and building wherever you go. This itself is a simon. There's an entire polemic, which I was privileged to speak about Yom Haatzmaut 3 years ago for the whole yeshiva. By us, they never had a Yom Haatzmaut event for the whole yeshiva. Nothing. Just a carnival for the Amcha, but for the yeshiva guys, nothing. You know who gets credit for it? Rav David Miller. Rav David Miller came for 2 years to be on our yeshiva. So what's going on over here? Nothing? So the first year he had it in, they call it 501 at first, Rav Shechter spoke. It was so big, the next day we moved to the big gym, and I spoke. I quoted this whole polemic back and forth. It was the first article was written by a Riverdalian, Ari Shvat. Now he's Ari Shvat, and in which he writes that we have a Masorah from Rav Herzog and from others that once Eretz Yisrael flowers, it's not going to go again. There's not going to be a third goes. That's a famous story already in the time of the difficult times of the World War II. They told Rav Herzog, don't go back to Eretz Yisrael. The Nazis are poised to conquer Eretz Yisrael from North Africa. He said there's not going to be a third Churban. There are enough Jews there. There's already a flowering of the agriculture. That's it. It repeated itself later on in 1948. Rav Herzog came to the Brisker Rav and said, there's a Kabbalah And the Kabbalah, they say, is based upon the Ramban. There's not going to be a third Churban. Please let your son stay in Yerushalayim. They shouldn't run to the Schweiz. So, if the Briskov is said to have answered him, Ich habe Kabbalah von Taten, as Meshist and Leufner. Your Kabbalah, I have my Kabbalah. So his kids went to Switzerland for the duration of the difficulties of the here in 1948. When they shoot Iran, you don't have any questions with all your Kabbalahs. It's based upon the Ramban a little bit. It's only going to be two Churbanos. It's to the two Tocharas in the Chumash. The big question, of course, becomes: have we reached a point after which there cannot be a reversal? Big fights, and the place where it was fought out is in a periodical called Hama'ayan, which is put out by Shalavim, and I used to get it in the mail, and it's for 3 in a row, back and forth. One criticized Rabbi Schwartz, and one that supported him, and then they criticized, back and forth where we hold him. So I always thought it may depend upon which scenario we're going to be in. If you're in a scenario of Mashiach's going to come from the sky, so whatever happens before that is disconnected. Rashi explains, at the end of days, it's never happened until now. Kaini Knizi Mikadmoni, which is further to the east. We'll get there when Mashiach comes. Im, then I'll give you 3 more cities of Arim Mikra. What's the Im? Say when? Why Im? We don't know about the Mashiach. You know what Meir Simcha says? It depends how the Mashiach comes. If the Mashiach, look what he says, exactly the opposite we said until now. If the Mashiach comes Be'ita at the end of days, which is preordained, to be a whole new world. In that new world, there's going to be no more murder. There'll be no murder. The Mashiach side, and there'll be no murder. There's no murder, you're not going to need any 3 more Ori Mikla. Won't happen. But the Im, other way around, it's going to be Achishena, then we're going to pass like the Rambam. Ein bein all the Mashiach Al-Shiv Malchus. There will be murder. You'll have to be the shogeg. You'll have to add 3 more Ori Mikla. He turned my whole thing on its head. The country. If it's going to be in its due time, then it's going to be a supernatural Mashiach, at least Mashiach afterwards. It's not a serious theory. When it comes early, it's going to be the regular world that we live in. So the answer is we don't know exactly what's going on. But at the same time, Yom Haatzmaut was a very big day. And I say, Ani HaKatan, that forget about the politics. Jewish lives were saved. If Jewish lives are saved, that itself is a reason to make at least some kind of a celebration, perhaps to mark it some way or other. And I quoted Rabbi Dabolitsky from Bnei Barak, who was a Haredi L'chol Hadayot. And he writes an article, it was written in 1968, the year after the 6-Day War. And he writes there, he doesn't understand why the rabbis are so quiet and in giving instructions what you should not do. Don't say Hallel. Don't. He doesn't understand that. Last year, 67, and I was here then, so I can speak about it. Every Jewish life was in danger. They wanted to kill us all, and it was real fright. I don't know if I've ever told you the story before. I was once telling this to Rabbi Faskowitz from Hillcrest. I met him we were at a wedding together in Montreal, a Talmud of mine, a relative of his. He's a rabbi in the shul. He had a lot of dead guard. He can't go anywhere, he's stuck. I told him the story about 67. So I was here in 67. I was a Talmud of the Mir Yeshiva. He's related. He's related to the Americans. He's related to Nochem, Reb Chaim, are his relatives. He was there in the kitchen. The cloud was the kitchen. There was no cloud. In the kitchen of the Mir Yeshiva in 1967. And he said, this is how scared they were. Guy came from Sal to tell them, hide in the kitchen, women and children in the back, everybody meant to the front. Habafaked, you learn a neshek. And learn a neshek. V'shulchem, ma neshek, hashtenderim v'shulchanot. V'kisaot. If the Arabs come, you take shtenders and tables and chairs and try to fend them off. Remember, the Mir Yeshiva was 1 kilometer from the border. The Arabs going to come in, and the Arabs did attack us. And Chalil v'chas, they would have been successful. You can't even think what happened in Yerushalayim. You can't even think about it. Chas v'shalom. But you think it wasn't a real threat? The people in a real threat told me the following story. Everybody knows the story that Reb Chaim Shmuel was printed. That how are they saved in the Miklat? So it's famous. There was a Sephardi woman who said to Hashem, Hashem, my husband abandoned me. He left me in Aguna with little children. He went to the French Riviera with his girlfriends, everyone. He told me in Aguna, Hashem, I'm moichel him. I want you to save us. The part of the story which is untold is all these Sfarim who lived in the base all the time were told to go to the Miklat. They refused to go. They wanted to go to the yeshiva. Haggah told us the most dangerous place in the whole area is the yeshiva because it's the biggest building, and they aim for that with their pagazim. Sure enough, a pagaz landed in the middle yeshiva, landed right by the ballonim on the outside of the gas, and did not explode. And Reb Chaim Shmulevitz had hallowed his whole life on Chav Zayin. That's when the pagaz came and didn't explode. He was saying Tiller. Reb Nachum is learning Gemara
in the kitchen.
In the kitchen. All of a sudden, there's a tumult in the front. Noise. You think, noise. To show the level of fright that the people really have, Reb Nachum turns to Moshe Patkus and says the following words: "The Araber kommen schon. Ich bin great of Kiddush Hashem.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to die on Kiddush Hashem." Those who think that Hashem saved us from the marauding Arabs who wanted to kill us all. So I don't understand how it's possible either. So I speak about my experiences in the Yom Haatzmaut whenever they give me a chance to do it, in all circles, including I spoke in that terrace, Beis Yaakov, in Monsey, New York. I asked this week. So there was a very chashuv Rav near Chaim Shabbos. It was a very chashuv Rav related to our Mr. Shabbos, who was a Rav there. He's part of the faculty. He's sitting there in the back listening to me speak. He says, but everyone marks Yom Yerushalayim in particular. They still want to do it the way the Rabbi does it. So I looked back and I said, excuse me, Shabbos, to the best of my understanding of months in New York, they're not doing anything different. They do the same davening with no davening difference, it's forgotten completely. And unfortunately, you can say Yom Haatzmaut was a little political, the state of Israel. Yom Yerushalayim was nothing to do with that. They just saved us. We're not saying Hallel could be Kagad Yerushalayim. We're saying Hallel because we were saved from the guy who wanted to kill us. So that's why whenever I'm asked to speak about this matter, I have to say a few words. There's much more to be said, but Pirsum Anisa, in the midst of the comparison, I was in 1948. I was 1 year old. I was not cognizant of what was going on. But 1967, you figure how old I was then? I was I was just 20 when all these events were happening, and I remember them like yesterday. I remember that we were afraid we ran to the Miklat when the siren went off, and we were really scared. The shachas, there was like a nearly Yom Kippur. People were really scared that the Arabs who said they were marching on television, we thought it was true. We didn't know for sure. It was real fright. It was real. And in America, they were completely panicked. It was America 67. It was a complete panic. Total panic. Remember it was? People just complete panic. So we have to we understand very well, I understand very well, why many people who, even though they believe in the miraculous events, don't want to give any recognition whatsoever to these days, and they speak out against them in the Beis Yaakovs. That was the comment of my discussion last time across the street. Because everything's associated with everything else. If you recognize these days, next thing you'll be in the army, boy or girl. And that's they're afraid about. They have to draw a line over here. There can be no nuance, no gray, it's black and white. It's an unfortunate reality we live with, but I'm not meshubah to that reality. I live in Riverdale, not meshubah to reality. I think the people around this table who live in Ramat Hashem should also not meshubah to that reality. Have to be able to find a way how to make it. I was sitting yesterday with Miriam's neighbor, Stephen Glantz. I was looking for a minion that does what we do in Riverdale. It says how the end of the davening, without a bracha, with none of the other accoutrements, so that no such place exists anyway. So Stephen Glantz wanted to come to this neighborhood and start a show like that. I told him I was once invited to be the Rav in Beis Tefillah. You were there. After 9/11, I was there for Shabbos. I gave a very, very, very dramatic drasha. It was the week of September 11, 2001. I was stuck thinking back to the Bris. They wanted me to take the job. Maybe history might have been a little bit different. But
would have been a lot different.
The truth is, I do not know how I would have managed. That's why I didn't take the job. It's very easy for me to say you can somehow split the middle. And I'm not subject to the pressures that people are subject to over here. And I can't leave my position. What I'm doing in New York in the last since 2001. Now it's 2006. The last 15 years, I've done a lot of important things. I don't know if it would have been done without me either. So it's very hard to abandon your post. You can't listen to someone else take place. I'm not sure if I have something like that.
Yehuda. Now.
Anyway, so I want to thank you for the opportunity to say a few words. It's over the coolest name of hair you